Welcome to this GiftWorks video. In this video, I want to talk about backing up and restoring using GiftWorks Pro. GiftWorks Pro uses Microsoft SQL Server to store all its information, and the backing up and restoring options are slightly different than our other GiftWorks Standard and GiftWorks Premium products. So let's go take a look in the settings area to see how it works. Let me go over to the settings area, and under Database Files and Maintenance, and clicking on Manage Your GiftWorks Database, I'll see an option to back up. Now you notice there's no restore option here. I'll cover that in a couple more minutes, but let me first click on backup the database. Now there are a couple situations certainly where you're going to want to back up. First, you're going to want to make sure that you have some sort of regular, and whether it's scheduled or not, regular process for backing up. Keeping your information stored in a safe and secure location should be a part of every organization's policies and procedures. And certainly I know many of us are fully aware of that. But the second thing is, depending at different times during the day, users, if they're going to be doing different things, let's say they're deleting a number of donors, or they're running something we call a smart update, or they're importing a bunch of information, and they want to be able to, at that moment, back up before doing whatever process they're going to do that may delete a bunch or add a bunch of information. They may want to back it up. So we've made the backup capability in GiftWorks Pro pretty simple. So you go to the settings area, click on Database Files and Maintenance, click on Manage Your GiftWorks Database, and then click on Backup Your Database, and you're ready to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in a name. It's a two-step process. It's pretty simple. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the name, which is GiftWorks Backup 2012-0817. And you have two choices of the location where to store or save the GiftWorks backup file. The two choices are, first, you can either back it up using the default SQL Server location or backing it up using a custom location. Now, the backing up using a default SQL Server location, this is an important thing to understand, that this location is from the perspective of the Microsoft SQL Server. So in this case, mine happens to be C/program files, Microsoft SQL Server, and so on. Remember, this is not the C drive of my local computer. This is the C drive of the Microsoft SQL Server. Now, if you have Microsoft SQL Server installed on your own computer, well, then it may be one and the same. But remember, this is from the perspective of the Microsoft SQL Server location. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to back up this to that location. And this is a different computer than the one I'm using right now, so I won't be able to quickly and easily see that. So I'm just going to click on Backup Now, just to show you that it's going to go ahead and back it up to that location. Now, I am going to come back and I'm going to repeat the process, because instead of using this default SQL Server location, I'm going to use a custom location. That's a little bit easier to show you. So I'm going to just put that in again, GiftWorks Backup 2012-0817. And I'm going to, instead of using this default location, I'm going to use a network location. My server name's Dave /backups/GiftWorks. And I'm going to bring that up for you to see so we can actually see it working. Did I type it in right? Let me just do that again. Oops. Let me just type that in right, and then we'll do it. There we go. Backups, GiftWorks. So you see this folder right here, Dave Backups GiftWorks, is empty right now, but we'll just put this over to the side so maybe we can see it a little bit better. Let me just shrink this window. We'll see it show up. There we go. Leave it right here. And I'm going to click Backup Now. We'll see it, bring it back to the forefront. It's going to do, there we go. There's the backup that just appeared. And I'm all set. Backup is complete. So if I bring that window back, Dave Backups GiftWorks, I see that backup file was stored in that network location. So whether you're backing up and you want to back it up to the default SQL Server location or a custom location like a network folder, you can do that. You may want to set this up. Now, every time you come back into backups, it's going to bring back the previous location that you used. So if people need to do that, they won't have to remember the location. They'll just really need to remember what file to name it. If you happen to put in the same twice, 2012-0817, it is going to say, you have chosen to overwrite an existing backup. So it will give you some warnings just to make sure that you're not overwriting some previous backups. Also, let me go over to the home page. So that's how you back up. Let me go back to the home page for a moment. And under the reminder section over here, you can change my setting and click on Change Preferences. And you do have this reminders, and this will apply for backing up your GiftWorks Pro. You can say backup. I want to be reminded that I need to back up. And you can even choose the amount of days you want to be reminded. So if I do this now, I just backed up, so it's not going to remind me, but I can keep that very low, and I'll receive a reminder here that'll let me know I need to back up. Some of you also may want to schedule a backup instead of just doing it manually through GiftWorks Pro. And to do that, you can use the built-in tools in Microsoft SQL Server to be able to do that. So you can go up to your SQL Server, go under Management, Maintenance Plans, and right-click and say New Maintenance Plan. And you can create something that includes scheduled backup to ensure that perhaps your GiftWorks Pro information is being backed up every night. Just a reminder too, when you make those backups, you should always ensure that those backups are then stored in a safe and secure location, maybe even considered an online type backup solution to ensure that your backups are safe. Let's head back to GiftWorks for a second, and let me go over to the settings area, and I want to talk about restoring. Under Database Files and Maintenance, manage your GiftWorks database. Like I mentioned earlier, there is no restore option here. And that is because we made a very deliberate choice not to include the ability to restore GiftWorks Pro information right within GiftWorks. You know, for those of you who are familiar with GiftWorks Standard or GiftWorks Premium, you know that you can restore right from within GiftWorks. But for GiftWorks Pro, because of the amount of data, amount of information you may be managing, and also the fact that it's hosted on Microsoft SQL Server, that we felt that the risk in restoring was just a little bit too much, and perhaps some of the risks that you might run and the way that you might put some data or information in jeopardy, we felt we didn't want to include that capability right inside of GiftWorks, but rather would rely on whoever's managing your Microsoft SQL Server, whether it be a person within the organization or a computer professional. We would simply just rely on their ability to go to SQL Server under Databases, right-click and say Restore Database right from within there. There are a number of things that you want to consider when restoring, meaning where your physical files are going to be stored, and some other settings. And we want to make sure that no one accidentally overwrote a database or things like that. So certainly backing up within GiftWorks Pro, you can do within GiftWorks Pro, and you can also schedule it within Microsoft SQL Server. But for restoring, we are relying on the fact that you're going to go to Microsoft SQL Server directly and restore it, understanding some of the risks that go with that. So we hope that that's helpful in helping you understand how to back up and restore using GiftWorks Pro, and we trust that as you get started using GiftWorks Pro, it helps you and your organization be successful. Thanks for watching.